The worst part of when my son was probably about 3.5, 4 years ago, where it was either make or break. One thing was going to happen or the other thing was going to happen. Thank God he came through it. I was off work and I got back to work, phased return. Like I said, the problems were still going on with my son, and my wife's health hadn't been too good. But really the only bit them were interested in was me getting back to work full time. They weren't really interested about, well, oh, how are you doing? How's your health? How's whatever? It was only well, when are you going to get back to work type of thing, which I did. On the first time I was off, I got back. But then, I think it was about, I don't know, I can't remember exactly, maybe 9 months later, it went again, properly me back. And I was off 3 months then. It was coming up to Christmas, and the doctor didn't really want us to go back to work, but I got back to work. She says, well, if you go back, you can only go for 2 days, and then you'll have a break, Christmas, New Year, and then you start a new year, and we'll take it as there. And that's when the two guys who looked after her, who ran the firm, who was their firm, like I say, the younger one, he was nice to your face till he got what you wanted off you. But the older guy, he'd always been a bully. I don't give how anybody wants to dress it up, he had been a bully. But fortunately for me, I was told at a young age off my dad, if you let people, you've got to stand by yourself, like, and which I have done all my life. And he didn't bully me, like, but when he came to see us down on that job, basically to see when I was getting back to work, and when I told him that I wasn't, that's when I knew. By his whole attitude was like, he didn't hear what he wanted to hear, and that was when I knew the gloves was on, like, with me and him, like, and it was basically, it was a fight I could never win. I mean, I wasn't going to win against him. I knew he hadn't come to see me to see how I was. There was obviously an angle there to see when I was going to get back, because the other one had approached us as well about getting back to work the 3, 4, 5 days, and once I got back to that, they would have expected us to work away again, which obviously most of my work over the last 20 years had definitely been away from home, which was now, in my opinion, was finished. But because he didn't hear what he heard, and like I say, it was the winter, and I think in his whether I mean, I couldn't see him actually in his car, but I heard him, and it wasn't the way you would normally drive in a normal frame of mind. So he's obviously, he's a bit angry about what I told him, and the way he went, and he skidded in his car, and the side skipped there, and he just missed it. And I mean, that tells you a bit about the bloke, like, you know what I mean. I don't think I had any contact with the firm, with work, for about 2 months, and then it was me making a phone call to them, and that went right through till the paid us statutory sick pay for 6 months. You know, that was when things really started to get tough, because a few problems, little underbelly problems with my son again, but nothing major, but it was still a worry. And then the worry of the reality of no income, and like I say, the no kind of emotional or financial support, which I was asked that question when I did get in touch with Gated Carers. Had I received, when they found out that I'd worked for this company for 40 years, they couldn't really believe that they'd never offered us any kind of support, emotionally or financially, which they didn't. Like, I wasn't really that keen on, like, telling strangers about my problems. The more or less categorised were problems, you know, like my problems emotionally, Christine's problems, and then we're seeing somebody about who could help with financially. Put one to where we go to get support, financial support, which, I mean, when you've worked all your life, when you've worked 45 years, you're totally naive on, I didn't know where to go for help and what you could possibly get and what you couldn't, you know what I mean? So Gated Carers just, well, them guided were all the way through. There was another one of the carers here, she helped me through with the closing months of my actual employment with them, which really them were like easy option get shot of them. So they offered us alternative employment in the workplace, which they knew I couldn't do. I couldn't go back to that environment. And I mean, that started to trigger back worry again, you know, like an anxiety in you, and you think, oh God, you know. But the girl who's been helping us with that, she guided, well, she did. I mean, she looked into everything, every angle of what them were obliged to do for us, which them seemed to think, well, it's cheerio, Eddy, like. But they had to pay us a 12 weeks lower notice. If I hadn't had the guidance from the girl who was helping us with that, and where she'd looked into it and saying, well, they've got to pay you that. So, but I mean, it's still support from the carers from a different angle, like.